Booyah!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Fringe. Politics may typically slow down during the summer, but when it comes to the news on politics, boy, things haven't slowed down. Now, if you were like myself and got out over the weekend during Canada Day, hopefully you celebrated our country in a glorious fashion. Hopefully you enjoyed the day. I know with myself, we had a barbecue, we had some people by. In fact, during the weekend itself, I got out to the lake and took my kids out on the Sea-Doo, had some fun, and it was good to just kick back for a while and really count my blessings that despite being ashamed of my government, very proud of my country and love my country. But what was really alarming when it came to what's happened over the last weekend wasn't Canada Day. Now, folks like Cat Canada, friend of the channel, had tweeted out she was hanging around Vancouver on Canada Day, and in fact, it didn't feel like Canada Day at all. She didn't see any Canadian flags, people celebrating, and that seemed to be kind of the message going around the country. But what was really weird was Justin Trudeau. Now, hang on, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to play this clip because it's cringeworthy at best. It's Justin Trudeau's attempt, which it seemed like he was in front of a green screen when he filmed this, by the way. I might be wrong, but it just looked very green screeny. But of course, Alec Jones tweeting it out saying, "You're a totalitarian joke and everybody hates you." Of course, Justin Trudeau attempting to wish everybody a happy Canada Day. He wasn't even in the country's capital for Canada Day. He was in Quebec trying to pump up his numbers going into the next election because despite reports that the knives are out for Justin Trudeau, he just refuses to acknowledge that and I guess ride the sinking ship. Now, what happened before that? As we headed into the Canada Day weekend, some interesting events unfolded because, of course, we all know it's the end of Pride Month, but not the end of Pride season, as the community calls it, so to speak. But what we've seen here, now keep in mind, I'm about to show you some disturbing imagery, so please, if you have kids around, first off, you shouldn't be watching my videos around your kids. Second of all, remove them because, or pause the video. You don't want to see this. And if you don't like disturbing imagery, then my advice is move away. I won't be showing the videos attached to this stuff because it's nasty. Okay, let's get into what happened because with Pride comes a lot of questions that I have. We've seen last year that Rob Primo was out on Twitter, in fact, contacting Toronto police, asking why are people allowed to walk naked in the streets in front of what's deemed as a child-friendly event. These are people essentially wearing zero clothing and shaking their bits in front of kids, saying that this is inappropriate. I concur. I think that it's very inappropriate. I would question any parents who take their children to such an event to begin with. But of course, the police said, well, it's Pride, so we're just going to let it go. Now, if you think that the rules got tightened this year, it did not. Let's get into this video. Now, again, this was in San Francisco, but Rupa Submanyara, friend of the channel, again, tweeting out, if this were any other group of people, this would be an open and shut case of public indecency, but at Pride, the most lewd behavior gets a free pass. Now, I'm going to switch really quick again because I don't want to focus on that image while we're discussing what's happened, but essentially what Pride has turned into is a form of exhibitionism. This isn't any longer what it was founded upon. Now, of course, if you go back to the roots of Pride, it was essentially to bring awareness that the gay community wanted equal rights, meaning they wanted to be allowed to get married and non-scrutinized for preferring the same sex as their sexual preferences. It was to raise awareness. Now it has become essentially a sideshow. It's become one of those freak shows that you used to see at the circus with the bearded lady and whatnot, where people tend to push the envelope every single year just to see how much further they can get it before somebody draws a line in the sand. Now, as we see here, again, go back to this clip, a man receives a BJ Dictor and urinates in another man's mouth at San Francisco Pride. I talked to San Francisco Police Department about the laws regarding this, and they said it's a pick your own battles kind of day. That's how the police are treating it. Now, in Canada, we've seen protests going on in the nation's capital. Of course, Take Back Canada was in the streets on Wellington when Justin Trudeau wasn't during Canada Day to protest for this country's freedoms to come back, while protests were being destroyed by the left eating their own as the Toronto Pride Parade got underway at the end of the month going into the weekend. And of course, Palestinian protesters showed up to essentially say, we're more important. You can't have your pride parade. And I'll play this clip. This is what unfolded.
Our first demand is an easy one. It's that Pride Toronto must declare itself an apartheid-free zone.
Now here we go. Straight up naked dudes just walking straight past. No F's given. Just they could care less. This is where, you know what, I'm going to give it to this. This is where I'm enjoying watching this freak show, because you're seeing them eat themselves essentially. And this is where things and the narrative will start to crumble. Do you remember a couple months ago, the queers for Palestine, or whatever they called it, or gays for Palestine? This is who's going to side with who now? Now, essentially, the parade was canceled. Not because of naked people walking in the streets. We certainly wouldn't want to obey the laws in terms of public indecency, but the parade was shut down as a safety precaution because, well, woke installed Mayor Olivia Chow simply doesn't want to pick sides or draw a line in the sand to say that one protest is more important than the other. So it's going to be interesting as time goes on to see who attacks who and where this goes. Palestinian protests, again, have been getting out of hand in recent months in Canada. I think this is going to be a bit of a tipping point because, again, the left just can't handle when they're told, no, you can't. So interesting to see. If we go back to what happened in Wellington now on Canada Day, of course, we've got this tweet coming out saying, Take Back Canada protest march down Wellington Street. What do you notice? Let's take a look. Now, these protests have been going on for a while, not just on Canada Day. There's been footage going out of individuals going into train stations, telling people to be proud of the Canadian flag, that the Canadian flag, of course, needs to make a comeback, that we have to stop essentially pushing other countries' agendas and start worrying about Canada and Canada's future. Again, Pierre Poilievre coming out saying he's going to massively change what happens with immigration, and essentially that means maybe sending some people packing. I don't know when he becomes prime minister. And, well, that's going to maybe be a question that I'll have should I run into him at Calgary Stampede this year. But a good piece of good news if you're in Calgary. And one thing I wanted to close up on in this video when it comes to the politics going on is Justin Trudeau now, of course, running and hiding as usual. Trudeau's missing out on the Calgary Stampede this summer. This is now the Calgary Herald, typically left-leaning, says his only absence outside of the COVID-19 years. Well, why wouldn't Justin Trudeau want to come to Calgary? Well, gee, I don't know. Maybe because the last time he came to Calgary last year, he had to come in a private motorcade, be ushered in through the back of the grounds, and then do his quick little photo ops and rushed out the back door before anybody could really notice he was here. Of course, we've seen the videos, infamous ones of him trying to flip a pancake, failing miserably. It's hilarious, but with all the heckling that goes on with Justin Trudeau these days and the low polling numbers that he has, it's no surprise to me that Justin Trudeau, of course, is skipping out, on this year's Calgary Stampede. Now, somebody who is not skipping out this year, of course, is Pierre Poilievre. I know for a fact he's going to be in town for the Calgary Stampede. I'm hoping to catch up with him at some point. Still working on that, so if I don't make it happen, my apologies, ladies and gentlemen, but I'll try and go live. I'll try and do something if I happen to meet up with Pierre. Looking forward to asking him maybe some questions, maybe even seeing if he'll be willing to come on the channel and chat a little bit about some of his policies and about what he's wanting to bring to Canada. Now, the one thing I will caution people is he does have a very busy schedule, and this is about the third year in a row I've been trying to arrange with his people to sit down and have a few moments. So if it happens, great. If it doesn't, my apologies. I don't want to get anybody excited for nothing. So just kind of keep your eyes open. And that's kind of where we're wrapping up with the travesty of Justin Trudeau. Essentially, he's busy hanging around Quebec. He wants to pump up his numbers. He won't come out west because he knows it's a battle he cannot win. Let me know what you guys think down below. Are you shocked at what happened during Canada Day celebrations? Were you around that area? Did you see anything bizarre happening during Pride? Let me know what you guys think down below. If it's your first time here, I hope this video has earned your subscription. Make sure as you're clicking that subscribe button, you click your bell for notifications. Join us live here on the channel each and every Friday night for Friday Night Fringe, our live streaming show where we go over everything that's happened this week in politics, everything coming up in the week ahead, and a little bit of back and forth within our community. I always look forward to hearing what you guys have to say each and every week. It's definitely the highlight of my week, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you there this Friday night, again, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central here on the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.